What's up, everybody? It's Bloodshed Romance, and I've got the E09K by FiiO. So the E09K is just a dock for the E07K. When you drop in the E07K and set it to dock in and plug in the USB-B connector to your computer, you can actually use the DAC capabilities of the E07K and the amplifier of the E09K. Well, the E09K is just an amplifier, so all it does is amplify whatever it's getting, and you either get the option of dock or aux in. The aux in is on the back here on the far left of the device if you're looking at it, and then the other options you get are line out and pre-out. The line out is the sound signal directly out before the E09K touches the signal and amplifies it. It's just a clean, straight out to whatever you want. I'm actually using the line out to go to a mixer board and then to the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable, and it's actually working a lot better than I ever anticipated. The pre-out, I haven't played with this, but from what I read up on, it's the amplified signal. So if you turn the knob on the E09K up, the volume of the pre-out is actually going to go up to whatever you plug it into. So I could take the pre-out straight to the I could take the pre-out straight to the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable and use this to control it here. The reason I'm not going to do that is because depending on what impedance headphones you use, I'm using the Razer Kraken Pro right now, waiting for my Masterop K7XX headphones, so stay tuned for that review. And those have a 62 ohm impedance, if I remember right, compared to these 32 ohm. So when you turn this up and down, the volumes are going to be different for the two headphones. So if you put it like straight over across and plug in these headphones and then a higher impedance set of headphones, the volumes are going to be different. So I didn't want to do that. The other options you have on the E09K dock is a gain switch. And here I'm going to go ahead and put up the spec sheet. The gain switch down here has a 8.2 dB off, and when you flick it on, it has a 16.2 dB. So it's an 8 dB gain when you switch it on. Generally, unless you're using higher impedance headphones, you don't want to turn on the gain, just because it's going to muddy up the sound a little bit. It's not terrible, at least with these. I don't have any really high impedance headphones. The E09K actually is recommended with 16 to 600 ohms instead of the 150 for the E07K. Here's some other specs and stuff about it. It charges the E09K when docked. It's got all kinds of other little things about it, like the amplitudes. The frequency response is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. The output impedance is only 10 ohms, which is actually really good from what I've heard from people. And the front headphone port is actually 1/4 inch instead of 3.5 millimeters. So if you don't have a 1/4 inch adapter, I'd suggest picking one up unless your headphones that you have come native with a 1/4 inch. So the other major thing about the E09K is the potentiometer, is what they call it. It's an ALPS potentiometer. I'm not entirely sure what ALPS stands for, and I couldn't really find a good explanation. I didn't really try to look hard enough, but I'm pretty sure it just means it turns really, really smooth, and it's actually a very nice potentiometer. I felt some really bad ones before in my time, but this is one of my first dedicated amplifiers, so I'm not sure if it, is outstanding compared to other products. So the other big feature about these is a combo is the... So the other major feature about this combination is the low bypass switch from the E07K, as I mentioned in my E07K review. What that does is allows the E07K to use the amplifier mixed with the E09K. The E07K has the EQ I mentioned in my review of it, and if you wanted to take advantage of that EQ with the E09K, you would turn the low bypass switch off or away from the low bypass lettering. If you do this, you have to turn the volume on the E07K basically up to 60. And if you use the volume memory I mentioned, it will reset to 20 every time you turn it off. That was kind of annoying, so I was like, why would you even do this? I mean, some people like to mess with the EQs. I more likely just leave it on low bypass, because the low bypass just literally just uses the DAC part of the E07K. But if you turn the low bypass off, then you're using the amplifier, basically the amplifier and EQ of it, because you have to turn the volume all the way up. Otherwise, you're turning the you can leave it at 20, I guess, but you have to turn the potentiometer basically almost all the way up. If you leave the low bypass off, right about where the O is on it is about as high as you want to go. At least with 32 ohm headphones. I will go back over that when I get my Massdrop K7XX headphones, so stay tuned for that. So for the aux in on the E09K, I actually have a couple of 3.5mm to RCA, so I can hook up basically anything I want. You can pick these up on Amazon for a couple bucks, but you can plug in anything that uses 3.5mm, and just like the E07K, it will amplify whatever you put into it. So you can put your phone, computer, laptop, Mac, whatever, anything that uses 3.5mm. The amplifier is really good, but again, just like I mentioned for the E07K, if you use the 3.5mm, well, in this case, RCA, but whatever. I'm converting it to 3.5mm because I have way more inputs of 3.5mm than anything else. You can plug in things like GameCubes to it, anything that uses RCA, really, so Xbox 360s. I'm pretty sure PS4s don't have component cables with it. They might, but I don't own one, and I'm not a big console person, so don't quote me on that. If you do this, you're limited by whatever device you're sending it. So if you're using your phone's going to be the DAC. If you're using the computer, your computer's going to be the DAC. And if you're getting any electrical interference, you're going to hear it when you plug it in. The noise floor on the E09K is really, really low when I'm using the E07K as a DAC. The electrical interference I mentioned in my last video, if I plug in 3.5mm to my computer, I hear it a lot. It's so annoying, and I'm so glad that the external DAC fixes that issue. So the E07K is basically a necessity for me, but if you don't need one and you're just looking to amplify your sound, you don't need a DAC. It's a nice to have, and I suggest getting one. Seriously suggest getting one, even though my E07K is messed up. You can go watch my review to find out why I actually say it's messed up. It's not terrible, but it's kind of janked. But if you really wanted to, you don't have to have the DAC part. I like the DAC part, and I'd still suggest you get a DAC. If you get a bad unit, just do what I'm going to do and return it and get a new one. That's really all I can say. The gain switch on the back, I went over. Just leave it off. You can use the EQ on the E07K if you turn the low bypass switch off, and it charges. And if you really wanted, if you were worried about burning in the display at all, you can go into the display off settings in the E07K separately and turn it off, and then you don't have to worry about it. So when you're using the E07K as the DAC inside the E09K, when you plug in the USB-B to your computer and go through your sound properties, you're going to see it come up as E07K DAC. I found that really interesting, and I also don't exactly like the fact that the E09K has a USB-B. I wish it was mini B, so you could use the same cable, or have two of the same cable and not have to worry about breaking one. I'm not a hardware engineer, so to say, for these things, so I'm not entirely sure the differences between mini B and USB-B. But if all of this is doing is being a pass-through, I don't really see why they did that. The E09K is an amazing dock. I really, really like it, and it goes way louder than anything I'd ever need to. It says that it's made for up to 600 ohm headphones. Like I said, with the 32s that the Razer Kraken Pros are, I can't really go past the O without making my ears really hurt, let alone turn the gain on. When you turn the gain on, it is so loud. If you have headphones that are up to 600 ohms, this is probably going to do you just fine. I did get both of these used. The E07K I have issues with, and I'm getting it returned. And the E09K I am getting I'm going to hold on to it because I actually really like it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will answer it as best as I can. Also, I have a question for you guys. Do you like it when I just kind of sit here and talk about it? Or would you rather me script it, kind of like I did the E07K review? The E07K review, I did take my time and script and did a lot of work with, but If you guys don't like that, then I'll just keep doing it like this. If you like this, then I'll keep trying to do it like this. I think I can get more information when I script it, but I'm not very good at doing that yet. So just let me know, and I'll try to help you guys out and give you what you want. Thanks for checking this out, guys. Like this video if you like it. Dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment if you have anything you want to tell me about this thing. Or tell me that I'm an idiot and tell me that I missed all of this about it. Because that's about all I can tell you about the E09K amp and DAC. Thanks for checking this out. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for the Mass Drop K7XX review. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.